Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Alliance Group podcast and happy Life Insurance Awareness Month 2025. That is what I will be discussing today with our guest, our VP of Marketing here at Alliance Group, and the man behind our brand new Now is the Time campaign, Mr. Travis Grenier. Travis, this is crazy. I think this is the first time that I've interviewed you on the podcast.
Yeah, I don't get on camera very much anymore.
Well, you're very ugly.
Yes.
So we decided to make an exception for Travis and his horrible looking face to let him be on the podcast today to discuss what is a really, really, really awesome campaign, Travis, that we have come up with for Life Insurance Awareness Month 2025. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. But first of all, just in general, Life Insurance Awareness Month, Travis, it comes every September. And we're always trying to put together something that our agents can use. It's really an opportunity for us to remind people to think about life insurance, right?
That's right. And I mean, honestly, it's one of my favorite parts of this job is we have to take this subject like life insurance that isn't typically flashy or sexy or fun to talk about and make it into something that is interesting and fun and approachable and kind of like lowers the walls a bit to have to talk about death in general.
Right.
So that's always a hurdle that we have to play with everything that we do.
Yeah.
But especially in September, we always like to put the focus on, the core value of what life insurance does. We do a lot of marketing for living benefits and cash value, all of the different amazing things that you can utilize life insurance for. But in September, we take it back to the basics. We focus on death benefit. This is protection for your family. This is just a baseline core foundation for your finances
that everyone should have.
Yeah.
And that is kind of what we like about, obviously we do Living Benefits Awareness Month every January. So like you're saying, we usually are talking about living benefits. We are the living benefits company at Alliance Group. The new kind of life insurance is why you should get this kind of life insurance. But really, Life Insurance Awareness Month, it is very simple. It is, look, if you don't have life insurance, what are you doing? Get life insurance. But it's not just for people who don't have life insurance. It's also for people who do have life insurance and need that reminder to review it, right? Because life insurance is something you don't just buy once, you put in place, and then that's it. You can forget about it for the rest of your life. It's something that you buy, you put in place, and then just you need to, every year is what we recommend. You need to touch base with your life insurance agent, make sure that it's still covering, that you're still covered for an appropriate amount, that you haven't had any big changes in your life, and that it's still doing what you want it to do. So tell me about this Now is the Time campaign, which our agents are absolutely loving right now. I'm seeing it all over. They are sharing it like crazy. It is a big, big success. So let's kind of get behind, how did you come up with this idea? Well, actually, first for our viewers, why don't you kind of describe what this campaign is?
So the the idea is basically the time that people usually think about life insurance is not the time that you should be thinking about life insurance. It's usually when something has already happened or they're already in, some kind of dire situation where they think, oh man, we should have had life insurance.
Right.
And we kind of took that idea and put a little funny spin on it, and put people in these kind of humorous situations where they're, swimming and a crocodile comes up right behind them, or it's like a grandma parasailing and a bird flies through her chute, and then the tagline comes up and says, "Now is not the time." Or this is not the time to think about life insurance. Now is the time. And then, cutting to a kind of mundane activity.
Sitting on the couch watching TV, or sitting on the toilet looking at your phone, or things like that. So these really, really catchy 15-second spots, it's really just to deliver that message. The underlying message behind this is, kind of what you brought up there, Travis. You can't wait until you need life insurance to get life insurance. That is the entire paradox of the idea of owning life insurance. You will not qualify for life insurance after you have had a major heart attack or cancer, or you've been in a major accident, or you're in a coma. You're not going to get approved for life insurance. You have to get it done in the moments when you are youngest and healthiest, the youngest and healthiest you'll ever be. That is when you need to lock in your life insurance.
Yeah, and that goes back to people saying like, oh, I don't need it. I'm young, I'm healthy. I'm like, no, that's exactly when you need it.
Right.
Is because otherwise you're young and healthy until you're not young and healthy.
Exactly.
And that happens usually pretty quick.
Also, for most of us right now, today is the youngest and healthiest we will ever be again. Right? So, unfortunately, that's the case. So that translates to life insurance is more affordable right now today than it will be for the rest of your life. So stop thinking about it. Stop kicking the can down the road. Lock it in. Do yourself a financial favor. Do your people you love a favor and get it done. So that is the entire concept behind this awesome Now is the Time campaign. We have, 16 different versions of this little 15-second spots that you've created.
And the thing I like about this campaign is that it's not limited to those 16. It's not limited to even like 100. I mean, we could think of countless situations where we could, that would fit into this campaign, where someone's in a situation where they find themselves in a situation they don't necessarily want to be, or in a life-threatening situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then cut back and say, hey, this isn't the time that you should have been thinking about this. Cut to a mundane activity. Now is the time.
Yep. So let's actually take a look at a few examples of the Now is the Time campaign, available in English, Spanish, and Portuguese.
Woohoo! Ah!
This is not the time to think about life insurance. Now is the time. This is not the time to think about life insurance. Now is the time. This is not the time to think about life insurance. Now is the time. This is not the time to think about life insurance. Now is the time. Visit nowisthetime.today to get a free quote. So that is just a few examples of the Now is the Time campaign. I realized, Travis, as we were doing that probably wasn't a very pleasant experience for our listeners.
Probably not.
But our viewers got to see it. The listeners just heard the same line over and over again. You guys will have to go online and check it out. It is an awesome, awesome campaign. And again, just all about, it really is about encouraging people, just take action right now. That is the most important thing.
Right. And again, it's my favorite thing about this job is trying to take that serious topic and make it approachable and make it fun, make it interesting. Some of the campaigns that we did in the past years was Not Your Grandma's Life Insurance.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one was super fun too.
Love that campaign.
We'll put a couple of those up on the screen as well, but that one just featured a bunch of like hip grandmas
and grandpas.
Yeah. Honestly, that one like reminds me of my grandma so much, because she's just that grandma. In all of those, she's every one of those grandmas. Like,
dressed in like hip hop style clothes and
Yeah.
with bright, vivid colors, and wearing like chains and oversized sunglasses.
yeah, way too cool for school.
That was pretty awesome. That was pretty great. You talk about it. It's our favorite part of the job, and it's because we like a challenge, right?
Yes.
I mean, sometimes we fantasize in hard moments about like, what if we just had to market like a widget and just convince people to buy this thing, like but life insurance is something that there's definitely challenges with making people stop and think about what is death and sickness and protecting yourself against that, and trying to do so, like you said, the challenge is trying to do so without the guilt trip part of it.
Right.
It's just like, this is something that is smart to do. It's something that'll help the people that you love. It's something that you can do right now. So just do it.
Yeah.
Just get
And
it.
I mean, it forces you to be creative when you have that kind of obstacle too. I mean, you think about the most interesting commercial campaigns today are from like insurance companies like Geico and
Yeah.
State Farm,
Yeah.
and all those. Like, they have the best commercials.
Because they have to hire the best talent in the world to convince you to buy some car insurance for your car.
If it were even the slightest bit fun to begin with, the commercials wouldn't have to be that good.
That's very true. That's very true. That's why they have to have people like us,
right.
top talent. It is really fun, and we do love our jobs. We love the challenge that comes with it, and I think that definitely comes through in the Now is the Time campaign. Great job on that, Travis. So Lee and I did this podcast last year. Lee Duncan, President and CEO of Alliance Group. He was my guest a year ago for Liam 2024. And we did what I thought was a really great little exercise where we went through and we named our top reasons for owning life insurance. You and I are going to do our own little take, Travis, on this today. We're going to switch up the questions. But before we do that, I do want to get your answer to that question.
My top reason for owning life insurance?
Why do you, Travis Grenier, own life insurance?
I would say number one reason why I have life insurance and so much life insurance is because I have plans for what I want to do for my family. And I have this much life insurance in place in case I'm not around to fulfill those plans.
Yep.
It's not to replace me or anything like that, but I have goals and I have dreams that I'm going to achieve in my lifespan. But if my lifespan is cut short, that at least ensures that my end goal is still achieved.
Yeah, the way that you said that is the way that I feel as well. Like, it's not, I'm going to try to make this happen. I am going to make this happen. I have a goal. I have a financial picture that I'm trying to create for myself and the people I love, my family. I am going to do that. What life insurance allows me to do is to ensure, since I know 100% that I'm going to make it happen in my lifespan, life insurance helps me ensure that uncertainty that I don't know what's going to happen. Somebody might hit me in Atlanta traffic, or I might be, go to the doctor and they see, that doesn't look right. And then before I know it, I've got problems, right? So it helps me ensure that if I get interrupted while I'm doing this thing that I'm going to do, life insurance is going to ensure that it happens anyway.
Yep.
100%. That's awesome.
That, and I was joking with Kenna about first of all, my question, because I was getting some more life insurance. We're having another baby, so I was like, I'm going to get a little bit more. And I was like, how much money would it take for you to kill me? I'm going to get just under.
I'm going to get $1 less.
No, but it's also, I also put it in place though, so that if something does happen to me, she doesn't work. She takes care of the family. I mean, that's a full-time job.
Right.
She is 100% just rocking it as a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah. CEO of the family. Right.
If something were to happen to me or my income, then she would either have to get a job or go get remarried to some Chad who can provide for the family, and I don't want her to have to do that.
That's right. I mean, no offense to any Chads out there, but it's something that you don't want to have to worry about. Like you're not going to have to rely on anyone because I am providing for that.
Whether I'm here or I'm not.
Right. And nothing's going to happen. But it's really nice to know. So that is why Travis Grenier owns life insurance. There's so many times. If you guys go check out the podcast from a year ago, you can get my 5 reasons for owning life insurance and Lee Duncan's top 5 reasons for owning life insurance. I absolutely love that. But I wanted to give you the chance to answer that question as well. What you and I are going to talk about on this podcast are the top misconceptions about life insurance. Because I think in Life Insurance Awareness Month, part of what we do is, and part of our job year round, is to clear up misconceptions about life insurance. There are a lot of misconceptions about life insurance, and I think it's because people don't want to think about life insurance that often. And so they don't do a lot of thinking about life insurance. And so if you ask them what they know about life insurance, you'll find out it's shockingly little.
It's a great way to shut a party down, is to just bring that up.
Or anything. If you want to sit down on a plane and you don't feel very talkative that day, just sit down and ask the person what they do and then tell them that you sell life insurance, and you are guaranteed to not have to talk to them the rest of the flight. Top misconceptions about life insurance. I'm just going to throw them out there, Travis, and then we can kind of talk about them.
All right.
Correct them. So first, number 1, you brought this up already. Top misconception about life insurance: I'm young and I'm healthy, so I don't need it.
Yes. Again, debatably the exact reason why you should.
Yes.
It's going to be so much cheaper to get it while you're young and while you're healthy. For example, when I first started here,
you were like 21 years old.
I was 21 years old. But I got like $500,000 of coverage for like $18 a month, which I still have.
You still have it, and it's the best money that you're spending right now. You're like, dude, $18 a month.
Like my phone insurance is more expensive than $500,000 of coverage.
So Travis, back then, 21 years old, single, no children, obviously, made the decision to put life insurance in place. Luckily, you didn't say, I'm young and I'm healthy, I don't need life insurance. Because now, of course, number one, if something had happened to you the day after you put that in place at 21, you would have been protected, which is important. But more importantly, and hopefully people can have the foresight, 21-year-old Travis probably had plans on getting married and having kids one day, which he has since done. You have another one on the way. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And he still has that coverage in place, and he's paying a pittance for it. Now you've added more coverage.
Yes, definitely. But I mean, as you get older, as more health issues arise, obviously, it becomes a little bit more expensive. But even now at 33 years old, it's still still so cheap.
Yep.
Just to get. I mean, should I put there more numbers?
Sure.
So I recently just got another $2 million in coverage for $140 a month, which is
$2 million.
Which is nothing.
And the thing about it is, if you had to choose, you have several policies in place right now. If you were to look at all of your policies and you were to point to which one is the best value, it would be that one you got when you were 21.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Right. So like it's the opposite of what you should be thinking. I'm young and healthy, so I don't need life insurance. Is the opposite of what you should be thinking. You should be thinking, I'm young and healthy, so let me lock in my life insurance for a ridiculously low price that even if I don't feel like I need it now, I will grow into that need.
Right.
So that's number one. Number two, this is a very popular one. Life insurance is too expensive. It is estimated we just kind of talked about this, but that is the number one misconception about life insurance, actually. We're listing it number two, but it's number one. It's listed in these LIMRA stats every year. They go back and they look at trends that are happening. They do consumer reports and consumer surveys and things like that. And year after year after year after year, the number one misconception people have about life insurance is that they overestimate cost, the average person, by 3 to 5 times the actual cost of what it costs.
Well, it's because people are used to health insurance where you're paying $600, $800, $1,200 a month. I mean, honestly, that's not even that far-fetched to get somebody that pays $1,200 a month for health insurance, and then you either don't use it or don't even start on health insurance. That's its own thing. But it's people kind of lump that in, and they're used to doing like that. Where
they kind of conflate the two, like oh yeah, that's tied to it, life insurance, health insurance. Like no, two completely different industries, two completely different price points.
Yes.
So again, if you are one of those people who's assuming that it's too expensive and that's stopping you from looking at getting life insurance in place for your family, it's worth a conversation to reach out, to do some quotes, to do the legwork to figure out how much it would actually cost you. And in most cases, what those stats are telling you is it might be a third to a fifth. No, that's not right. But anyway, it might be 3 to 5 times cheaper than you might be assuming.
That's why I like to give my personal number examples, because it's obviously there's like disclaimers, age and health ratings and all that stuff. Like it's going to be different for everybody. But I think that gives you at least a ballpark view of like, okay, so it's probably not as much as I'm thinking it's going to be.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Number 3, I don't have kids, so I don't need life insurance.
Also false. I mean, if you plan to have kids eventually, you're going to have a way easier time getting it now while it's cheap, while you're young, all the same reasons as before.
Exactly. And if you do have kids, absolutely you need life insurance. If you don't have kids and you just have a spouse, even if you plan on never having kids, guess what? You need life insurance.
If you have any kind of debts, like if you're young, single, but you have a house, like where's that debt going to go if something happens to you? It's either going to roll up to your parents or where's it going to go? Somebody is going to be inheriting that debt from you.
Yep.
So
in most cases, your spouse. So if you're married and you don't have plans to have kids, your spouse is still going to be missing your income. Your spouse is still going to be taking on your debt. They're going to be having to possibly continue the mortgage payments on their own. There is still going to be that. So yes, kids do add need for life insurance to your equation, but the absence of kids by no means eliminates your need to be covered with life insurance.
Especially when you get into talking about life insurance with living benefits, because those living benefits will kick in if something happens to your health, something major like a cancer, heart attack, or stroke, anything like that. Like the health side benefits of the financial coverage from that very much selfishly benefits you.
Absolutely.
When you have that policy.
Yeah. So, I mean, even if I were knowing what I know now today about living benefits, which I know many people don't, but I understand living benefits just about as well as anybody on this planet. And I've seen a lot of people be helped by it. Knowing what I know now about how living benefits work, if I were single and never going to get married and never going to have a kid, I would still own life insurance just for the living benefits part, because I know that if something happens to me, cancer, heart attack, stroke, something like that, that is going to that's going to leave me unable to work for months at a time. I'm going to need, treatments possibly. I want to make sure that my income is replaced, that I am not rushing back to work before I'm ready, and that I have access financially to all of the very best treatments that money can buy, whether or not health insurance is going to cover them or not. I need living benefits life insurance. I need that cash in my hands that I'm able to use however I want to navigate that situation, get back on my feet, and get back to normal. Let's see. Number 4 or 5. I probably can't get life insurance because I have health issues.
Also, you would be surprised.
You would be surprised, I think, is the answer to that.
Yeah, and it's going to vary, whether depending on that condition or not. But I mean, people with like diabetes, for example, can easily get covered.
Yeah, with like a standard rate in many cases.
Yeah.
It depends on how well your diabetes is controlled, how many medications you're on, how long you've had it. But that's just one example.
Yeah.
Life insurance companies, again, I think the answer is you would be surprised. They have very, very smart people that know how to analyze risk, right? And so for something as minor as you've got 15 extra pounds on you and you should exercise more, that might take you from a very, very top rating to like just a preferred rating or a standard rating. But I think a lot of people think, oh, no, I have like 15 pounds to lose. I'm not going to apply for life insurance until I can get these off. Like, dude, just don't let something like that stop you. You can always apply now. You can, you can get your price and you can reapply later if you do lose that extra weight you've been meaning to lose.
Yep.
It shouldn't be something that should stop you. But also for people who they're on 2 or 3 medications, maybe they got anxiety or depression even. Maybe they've had surgeries in the past or they've got, random health issues. It takes a lot these days for you to be a straight decline from life insurance.
Yep. And I mean, even if it's been something as major as cancer in the past, depends on how long it's been, how severe that cancer was. But we've even seen people get covered who've had cancer before.
Right. Yep. I think, you have to get, it totally clear. It has to be completely gone in remission for a period. It depends on the type of cancer, but generally 5 to 7 years. We do have people who have had cancer in the past, who have beaten cancer, and are able to get life insurance. So
but the main thing is you don't know until you ask.
Yep.
So it's what we tell everybody is like, we're not going to know until we apply. Let's just apply and we'll see what happens. What kind of rating you're going to get. Some people, go ahead and they'll just get that preferred plus, like elite standard rate. Like my parents, for example, when I started, they got elite. Top. And I was like, dang guys, I'm so proud of you. But anyway, again, you never know. You never know until you apply.
You never know how much it's going to cost or what rating you're going to get until you apply. And then once you know, you can always say, nah, never mind. Or you can take the opportunity. I think people sometimes use as an excuse to not get it.
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna get approved. Okay, here's another one. Life insurance only pays out if I die. It's just for death.
Also false.
Also false, right?
Get the right stuff.
Living benefits life insurance. It is something that we do at Alliance Group. The new kind of life insurance, you don't have to die to use. So while we always say that death benefit is still the main function of any life insurance policy that you get, what we'll also say is that it's the year 2025. There is no reason you should be, owning a life insurance policy that only pays out if you die. That's for the birds, man. Living benefits life insurance, it's going to pay out exactly the same way the old kind of life insurance would if you die. But if you survive cancer, heart attack, stroke, major organ transplant, blindness, paralysis, there's a whole list of stuff that's covered. If you survive those things, you're going to get money in your hands while you're still alive. And I think that is obviously what you and I have been tasked with, Travis, over the past,
Yeah.
12 years for you, 13 or so for me, um, is to help educate people about this new kind of life insurance. It does a lot more for the premium that you're paying every month than it used to.
And then you get into all the fun financial side of tax benefits and cash value accumulation and all that kind of fun stuff. We won't get into that now, but I'm just
Yeah, well,
pointing out that there's a lot of other cooler, like more sexier things that
That's
you
what-
can do with it.
that's what got me into my first life insurance policy.
Yeah.
Was Index Universal Life. It was I was very, very single, just like you were when I got my first life insurance policy. I think I was 26 years old. And I read a book called The Retirement Miracle about Index Universal Life.
Yep.
And it opened my eyes, and I said, you know what? I did not care about the death benefit at all. I did not care about the life insurance aspect of that policy at all. All I knew is that because it was life insurance, it came with all of this great tax code stuff that was going to generate cash value. That cash value was going to grow tax deferred, and I'll be able to access it tax free on the back end because it was a life insurance policy.
Yep.
Now again, now that I am married, it's 15 years on since then. I'm married. I have 2 wonderful boys. That permanent life insurance part that I didn't give a crap about when I put it in place is like a very awesome part of it. Like now I've got this great permanent coverage to mix in with my term coverage. But yes, life insurance, it's not just for when you die. You got the living benefits, you got cash value accumulation. There's all kinds of things that life insurance could do. This kind of ties into what we were just talking about, but here's another top misconception about life insurance. It's an unnecessary expense. I'll just invest instead and self-insure.
Yeah, it's like we keep like getting ahead of these questions. No, I mean it's exactly not the right thinking.
Why would you do
it's
that?
just reframing. I mean, it goes back to my primary reason of why that I have life insurance is my current investments are not going to do for my family what the life insurance will do if something happens to me.
Right. It's like if you froze time right now and said, all right, you can only have what you've saved so far. You'd be like, well, I'm not done yet. Like, hold on, man. I was going here.
And that only works if all of the cogs and the gears work exactly perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, it'll work if everything goes to plan, but if it doesn't go to plan,
Right.
that's what I'm planning for.
Exactly. It's a protection. I've always talked about it as the sandcastle. Like, I wake up every day, I put on my pants one leg at a time, and I toot the whistle, and I go to work, right? And I do that because I am building this sandcastle every day. I go to work every day, and I'm building this sandcastle, and that sandcastle is this financial future that for myself, for my family, I'm building it day by day by day, and that's the goal. Is I want to have this beautiful, amazing future for my family, and I'm working every day for that. But if I'm interrupted while I'm working on the sandcastle, I have a layer of life insurance that is basically there because of a rogue wave, which could be anything that we're talking about, any unexpected thing. It could be a critical illness, it could be cancer, it could be death. I don't know. I don't know what those things are, but I have to protect against them. If a rogue wave comes and try to knock over my sandcastle, I've got that life insurance policy that will self-fulfill everything that I'm trying to build.
Yep.
So getting back to specifically though, I will self-invest. I don't need to spend $50 to $100 a month on this life insurance policy. I'll just invest my money, and I'll self-insure. To what I would say, Travis, is why would you, if I had I can either pay for all of this myself. Think of it like, let's just say we're talking about, for an example, cancer, right? Let's say that there's this cancer treatment that costs $300,000. And I say, okay, well, against that risk, I'm going to self-insure, meaning I have $300,000 in investments. And if cancer happens, I'll just use that to pay for the cancer treatment that I want. And I'm like, why would you do that if you could pay $50 to $100 a month for a policy that'll do that for you and allow you to keep your savings if that happens?
And so you're taking just a small portion of that and then, doing exactly what you're saying and just letting someone else kind of fund that.
Life insurance is about transferring risk. I'm taking that risk. Like right now you're saying, I will just take that risk on my own and I'll lose all my own money. That's self-insuring. Like, why would you do that when I could take this risk and I could pay a life insurance company, here, you take that risk And now I don't have to worry about that risk because if something happens, they got the bill, and I'm paying them $50 to $100 a month instead of all of the money that I've saved my whole life being spent
Right.
if something bad happens.
Or even investments like if you're putting it in your 401k or certain other vehicles, you can't touch that until you get to that finish line.
Right.
So what if I need it beforehand? What if I, like, for example, I just used my for the first time, I didn't even tell you this, for the first time used the cash value in my IUL for a down payment. So
That's awesome.
Just went into the app, pressed like, oh, this is how much I need. It was in my bank account in 2 days, and there you go. And then I can pay myself back, as opposed to either taking penalties and withdrawal,
Yep.
getting the tax hit
Mm-hmm.
from taking it out of my 401k and all that stuff.
Yep.
So
Yeah, exactly. So if you try to go in your 401k to get that down payment, you're going to pay penalties because you went into it too early. Then you're going to pay taxes as ordinary income, right?
Mhm.
And then you're going to have to eventually pay it back, or that's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
You access your IUL cash
I
value.
know.
Great job. It's pretty awesome when you do things right. So I'll invest instead. It's an unnecessary expense. Absolutely ridiculous in my mind. Take that little bit of money, transfer that risk, and don't put all of your savings at risk if something bad happens. That's what this whole thing is about.
Yep.
And then this last one, life insurance, and this really comes to, I think, the misconception. It's the deep at heart of the misconception of life insurance. A lot of folks, I think, out there think that they think life insurance and they think funeral costs. Like that's what they think life insurance is.
Yeah.
It's like, you need life insurance, you can pay for the funeral. You and I know life insurance, a proper life insurance plan, it covers so much. The funeral is actually the very smallest part of that, right?
Right. I mean, it's any and all debts that you have. It's all risks that you've taken. It's
It's your
I'd
income.
say that's the smallest.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%.
The smallest.
So we do something called a DIME needs analysis. I do it with my clients. And we go through and we count up, how much coverage you need. We ask them a bunch of questions. They tell us a bunch of answers, and we calculate how much life insurance they need. So things that life insurance is going to cover are your debts, like you said, pay off all your debts. Income, which is generally the lion's share of how much that life insurance coverage is.
Yes.
Replacing your income for 5 years or 10 years, that is a pretty decent chunk of change, right? Making sure that your family has your income replaced for at least some amount of time so they can have some semblance of normalcy as they adjust to the new normal. Your mortgage, paying off your entire mortgage, paying off your home, and then any money that you want to earmark for your kids as well. Those four things are going to make up the lion's share of your life insurance coverage. And then for final expenses, that's just a funeral. That's $15,000 is a really nice funeral. Maybe 25 if you want to have go out like a king or a
all
queen,
out, yeah.
right? But that's a very small part of what your life insurance should cover. And a lot of people think life insurance is for the funeral. I think life insurance is for, that's just a tiny sliver of what a life insurance plan should cover.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these misconceptions that we've discussed are things that we can help our clients and our prospects, the people in our lives, understand better in Life Insurance Awareness Month. And Travis, thanks for the discussion. I know that the Now is the Time campaign hopefully is going to help us at Alliance Group and all of our partners start conversations and help clear up a lot of these misconceptions that we talked about throughout September.
It was a fun one.
It was fun, man. Thanks for your work. Thanks for the awesome idea. And on behalf of all of our agents, thanks for your creativity and your team's work on this really awesome campaign.
Happy to be here.
Awesome.
It's not so bad this side of the camera.
Travis Grenier, his first podcast ever. And I was kidding about you being ugly. You're gorgeous. So you know
Thank
that.
you. I needed that.
He did. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us on the Alliance Group podcast. Happy Life Insurance Awareness Month. And together we're better.
Listen to this interview and more on the Alliance Group podcast.